Hey, Warrior Saints, good morning. Hope you beautiful people are well as we get closer to the new year. Are you worried about physical health and creating a New Year's resolution that perhaps you might fail at? Are you really afraid to fail because, it's not a good, comfortable feeling that we don't like trying something or disappointing someone or doing something that we probably feel like we may not be ready to or even just afraid to? If you have those feelings, you're not alone. Fear of failure is one of the big three fears, I think, that keep us in the land of what I call inaction, meaning not doing things, not moving. We're not in action. We're stuck on the sidelines, and you know what? We're not getting anything done. And it's a natural feeling to want to be afraid to fail, because who likes failure? I mean, really, it's not fun. We want to succeed in everything that we do. The Way of the Warrior Saint it's a program to help us get over those fears, to fight through them. That's why we do all this stuff. In fact, in our forthcoming book, we have a book that's at publisher. It's in layout and design right now. Thanks be to God. There's a chapter we even have called Courage, which is to help us work through the big three fears, one of which is the fear of failure. Today, I wanted to talk to us about not only should we not, all right, let's say it like this. Let's first recognize to be afraid is okay. Everyone's afraid at some point or another. We all get afraid. And anybody who tells you, I've never been afraid, I don't get afraid, I'm brave, they don't understand what bravery is. Being afraid is normal. Like, that just happens to everybody, right? It just is what it is. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing the right thing in spite of fear. You follow that? So, it's natural to be afraid. Your body is telling you, this is danger, get away, right? That's why we get afraid. It's the body recognizing that something harmful is there. And so when we try to say that we're not afraid, we're not really honest with ourselves. The key is that when we do experience fear, that we do the right thing anyways. That's courage. That's what it means to be courageous, to be a warrior saint. Now, here's the funny thing about the fear of failure for the warrior saint. Not only do we do the right thing in spite of it, but we actually seek to fail. And you may be saying to yourself, Father Chris, what are you talking about? You're insane. You seek to fail? Who wants to fail? I don't think anybody wants to fail in the end. Our overarching goal, we want to succeed. But in order to get there, we have to be prepared to face some hard things, some rough edges, and do things that are uncomfortable, that are a lot of work, that we may not be good at, and we may have small failures along the way. There's a perfect story. Someone and I were talking about doing something together, collaborating on a project, and the person, beautiful. I love the person, but they, claim to not want to disappoint me. And I appreciate that. I'm not worth all of that anyone should care about me that much to want to disappoint me or not. But the truth of it is that I was disappointed because the person, not because they were afraid that they might not succeed or accomplish all of their goals, but I was disappointed because they didn't even try. They were so afraid to fail at what they were looking to do that they didn't even give it a shot. And that kind of inaction, that kind of fear of failure is debilitating, and it doesn't help you and I be the best that we're supposed to be. So come on, man, give it a shot. That's my thing. And, I was saying to the person, it's not like I'm going to love you any less or think any differently of you or cut you out of my life if you fail. I mean, it's in those failures, and here's why I'm so excited about it, that we find the way to pick ourselves up and to move forward. And that's when we get better. And that's when we succeed. Nobody comes out of the gate swinging perfect home runs every time the pitcher throws a pitch, right? I mean, it takes, years and years and years of practice. And how many strikeouts does a baseball player have before he connects with the ball to send it over the fence? You understand, failure leads to success. As I said before, we know nobody wants to fail in the end. But to get to the end and to find success in the end, you got to have some failures along the way. So don't be afraid of that. I use this all in reference to what we're talking about today in our physical health. That's what we're really working on. Our physical health is that, some of us, as we're getting close to New Year's and we're going to set those New Year's resolutions, we want to lose weight. We want to have their clothes fit better and so on. But we're afraid that, well, if I start this, I'm going to fail. Okay, fine. Fail. And then start up again. Just get going, right? In other words, when we start to make progress, we start to see that progress. We start to feel it. It becomes motivating. But that progress only comes after we've fallen down a few times and gotten back up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, nobody is perfect on their diet forever. Nobody is perfect on their exercise regimen forever. Nobody is perfect on their sleep habits forever. It's a process of getting up and falling down and getting up and falling down. And you can't be involved in that process if you're not involved in that process. You got to try. Do you understand? There is this beautiful verse I want to share with you. This comes to us from Isaiah. For I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand. It is I who say to you, fear not, I will help you. Like, this is beautiful. This is to say to us that whatever you're endeavoring to do, in this case, maybe the New Year's resolution to drop a few pounds, in whatever you may be endeavoring to do, God will be there with you. Not a magician. God doesn't wave a magic wand and say, poof, everything is exactly like you want it. That's not how God works. But God is to say, this verse from Isaiah, if you follow God's way and listen to his commandments and live that crucifixional life, even in spite of your fear, and even in spite of sometimes the hiccups and the failings you may encounter along the way, it works. God's way works, and you just have to do it. You just have to follow it. I know it's hard, but that's what gets the business done. And so if we're willing to struggle and follow God's way of living a crucifixional life, being, crucifixional in our own lives, and here we're specifically speaking about our diet and exercise for our New Year's resolutions, you will find it works. And you will find that you drop those pounds and those inches that you're seeking to drop. And if you can do that in weight, and if you can do that in health, boy, you can translate that to all facets of your life. It's really an amazing thing. I want you to visit us at warriorsaints.org. We have a program that we call the Way of the Warrior Saint that actually helps do that, right? Like it's the guidance that God gives us on how to live that crucifixional life so that we can be exactly what we're supposed to be, right? Visit us at warriorsaints.org and subscribe for the Way of the Warrior Saint. It's a beautiful program. We have lots of fun. It's enjoyable. So many people are doing it now. I'm so thankful and so excited. Join us. Let's leave behind the fear of failure and embrace failure. Look for it, because in it and through it, by persevering with God's help, remembering that he is holding our right hand, we will find that we are not only moving forward, we are conquering our fear by living courageous, crucifixional lives. I love you, beautiful people. We will see you tomorrow for our final live stream of 2020 as we roll into 2021. Our prayers that every day is blessed for you guys. Again, visit us, warriorsaints.org. Join us. We'll see you tomorrow. And until then, you keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.